Welcome to Mr. Fisher Flips 3rd grade. Today's lesson will be lesson 17, and I want you to know that this is where flipping becomes as exciting as flipping a pancake. And hopefully you had a great weekend. Box Elder won, and depending on which side of the coin you were on, BYU lost to Utah. Or, if you're one of Utah's finest, you might think that Utah won over BYU. So, depends on the way you flip the coin, right? Well, I have a lot of questions about what should we do for homework. In a traditional classroom, you've been used to having homework every day, every night, and that's the program that I've been used to. Well, with this model that we're doing, the traditional classroom really is having a lecture every day and homework at night, reading and questions due tomorrow. Well, in this model, your math is really only 2 nights a week. And you get to decide what you do with the rest of the time. For parents, that's kind of confusing because we really should be doing homework every night. But step back and you'll be able to see that I've got gymnastics, I've got basketball, I've got soccer, football. These kids are very much involved with today's activities. So this gives you an opportunity to decide which day you can do these and which days can you read and which days can you practice multiplication on your way to practice. So the flipped classroom really is, I don't have to be the sage on the stage. I'm really able to help the students learn within the classroom, and you will watch the lecture online. So with this, I want you to see that the Mr. Fisher Flips 3rd grade, there is a lesson that will be posted every Monday and Wednesday right after school. And I've put 2 new things up. I want you to check out the 2 tabs that are called Math Practice and Math Songs. The Math Songs, I was able to put up a few new songs, and I'm planning on putting up some new songs each week for the next couple weeks so that you can practice and decide on your favorite. Well, what'd you do on the other days? You get the lesson on Monday and it's not due till Wednesday. Well, every day you should be doing reading. If you read every day, you're actually participating in the road to success, and I would suggest that you do sign up for that, because then you can keep track of how many days, and then I can keep track of how many tickets you earn and give those to you at a faster rate. Usually in past years I've only been able to check those reading minutes about once every 2 weeks. Well, this allows me to check it weekly. So read every day. How many minutes? 20 to 40. Try not to go under, because you're really building up and getting into the mode so that you can get that habit down. And at the same time, probably no more than 40, because you want to be able to go outside and play. The other things that you should be doing for homework include vocabulary and spellingcity.com. If you go to spellingcity.com, I've got games there that go over the spelling words for that week. You can also be practicing your multiplication times tables. You use the charts, you can use the cheat sheets. Those are things that will help you learn the multiplication a little bit easier. Some other things that you can be doing include online math games, board games, and question mark. I really think that you, as 3rd graders, are to the point in your lives where you can and should be taking responsibility for your own learning. Don't wait for Mr. Fisher to say, go do a report on insects, or wait for your mom and dad to tell you that you should be studying. Find some things that you know or would like to know, and go find out information about it. That really will help you in your learning. And so 2 to 3 times a week, find a different activity. Spelling should be studied at least once a week, if not twice. And if you struggle, I would study it 3 days a week. But every day, read. And then on Monday and Wednesdays, do the flipped lesson. So let's get started with today's lesson. Well, I forgot something. Just a second. This week we'll be doing kind of the normal thing, but it'll be our last story in this unit. And the story just happens to be The Perfect Pet. Well, the students, or my third grade class, has been bugging me about show and tell. And for good reason, they've also been wanting to share their pets, because that's part of their lives. Well, this works perfectly. If we read about The Perfect Pet this week, then we as a class decided that October 1st would be a very good day for a pet show and tell. And so October 1st, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. And we're thinking about putting it on the north end of the building, out by the baseball diamond. That way the animals can be separated depending on which animals should and shouldn't be next to each other. So October 1st is when we'd like to do that. You can also see what else is going on in our class or outside of our class. This is actually the calendar for Century Elementary, and I've included the couple things here in purple that are our calendar. The other thing is the spectacular spooktaculars from the 4-H club, or from the Box Elder County 4-H. They've asked me to come and do a science demonstration. So if you come, it's going to be October 1st at Adele C. Young Intermediate School, and it's for the whole family at no cost. Come dressed as your favorite scientist. Notice, as your favorite scientist. You don't have to have your costume ready already by the 1st, but as a scientist, you can come and learn all about the fun behind learning. So come try it out. October 1st, 68. It's spooky science. I thought some of you, especially those that like science, would be able to have something to look forward to. Well, today's lesson is actually working with multiplication and division games. We're going to be practicing games. And so if you are listening to this video, you'll know that on Wednesday we're going to have games. But I thought this was math. You'll see that games are very important in learning and understanding how patterns and numbers work together, and you'll be surprised how much you do use when you play games. So let's play some games. Well, before we start, let's get warmed up with an actual math problem. So this is problem number 1 in your homework. The bookstore is advertising a special. Buy 2 books and get 1 free sell. The regular price for 1 book is $9. How much would it cost to buy 6 books while they are on sale? Write it down, see if you can get the answer. And just for fun, I'm going to let you see the answer. There's the answer. Now to look at the lesson. Like I said, it's all about games. Well, when we go to model it, we're going to play what is called the 3 in a row game. For some, you'll think of this as playing bingo with math numbers. And that's pretty much the best way to describe it. But let's go through the details. And here are the teacher tips, of course, but I can read through and explain it a little bit better by using their explanation. First of all, draw a 3x3 game grid on the board. It looks just like tic-tac-toe, doesn't it? Write 9 products in the grids for 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, or 9s. And then those products are the numbers that you multiply by 2, 3, 4, 5, or 9 to get the actual number, the total product. You're supposed to use your strategy cards, or you can use flashcards, and you shuffle them, And then you ask the class to find this would be kind of done with your family if you want, but we'll do it as a class. Find the answer to the multiplication on the top card. A volunteer turns the card over and checks the answer. The volunteer looks to see if the product is in the game grid. If it is, ask the volunteer to put an X through that grid square. If the answer is wrong, or if the product is not on the game grid, you do not mark anything. The volunteer puts the card problem side up on the bottom of the stack. You can invite several volunteers to solve multiplication and place X's on the game grid. When we do this as a group in the classroom, you'll do it with a partner. So it'll be kind of a you and a partner can switch off who's going to get the point. And you'll actually have a sheet with 3x3 grids to practice this. So let's go through this really quick. I came up with a number grid and I just put in some numbers, or did I? Well, I wanted you to be aware that I couldn't put in 13 because 2 times something doesn't equal 13, 3 times something doesn't equal 13, 4 times something doesn't equal 13, 5 times something doesn't equal 13, and 9 times something doesn't equal 13. So when I did this number generator, I had to be aware of what numbers I could put in. And some of these numbers, like 16, hey, I could put that one in. 16, I can put that one in the grid. But I couldn't put 1 in. So let's put some numbers in the grid. And I'm going to take this 3 and put it in that grid also. So we have our grid all made up. And if you notice, I just grabbed a 3 so I could put that in. So now, with my strategy cards, I can actually take some numbers. Let's see if you guys can do one. Let's do 4 times 9. Is that number on the grid? It is. So if you take that number, let's put an X through it. 63? Ah, good. It's 36. So you cross that one out. But what if I had another one like, here's another one. Let's go back to our 2 times 6. 2 times 6, is it up there? Yeah, it is. Here's another one. 3 times 4. 3 times 4, is it on there? Yeah, but we already got that one. So you can't get it twice. See how that product was the same for 2 times 6 and 3 times 4? So you have to give it up to another person. So that one is kind of fun, and you'll be able to put your own numbers in. And what you'll do is you'll take the multiplication table and you'll just write down product numbers. So quick practice. Let's do a quick skip count of the 3's. Let's go on to the 3's. We haven't done the 3's in a while. So I'm going to bring my count by over, and I want you to practice with me on the video. Ready? Here we go. Six, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Do it one more time. 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Now, if you remember, I put that on the blog earlier this weekend so that you'll be able to practice that on your own. Okay, moving on. There's a multiplication table. See all those red numbers? Those are the numbers you'd pick out. So on the 9's, you could put 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, and 90. And you pick one of those numbers and you put it on the grid. And you and your partner can actually decide, we only want to do 2's and 4's in this grid. And then On another grid, we only want to do 9s. And so those numbers can be generated in that 3 in a row game. Okay. It is very important that you see this because games are invented. I don't know of one game that has been in existence since I was a kid that wasn't invented. Go for speed. You can use your strategy cards and you can practice just what I call slap multiplication, and you see if you put down the card and you can see if it's right. You both slap at the same time and see who gets the card. Another way is this go for speed. You use your check sheet and you practice your multiplications and divisions and record how long it takes you to get through them. And that's a fun one to use, especially at home. You can see if you can beat your dad or your mom. Another one is to write a word problem. Invent a rhyme or a song. Invent a rap. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. And you can kind of make a rap out of it or something. So have some fun with multiplication. Do some fun things that will make you use the multiplication chart or your mind even better. If you notice, this is another game. Another game we'll play on Wednesday. This is called Division Race, and you'll actually have this chart that will be taken. You'll be able to take home after Wednesday and do it with your family. Great family night activity. There's the Division Race. Let's go on to page. Here we go. Here's the next problem that you need to do. But before we do this problem, I wanted to explain what this is, because you might see this on homework. And I remember last year, parents would always ask about this question because, one, it doesn't make sense. So today I'm going to try and make sense of it a little bit, and we're going to do this part together. As you read each problem and decide what type of problem it is, write the letter from the list below. Then write an equation and solve the problem. Well, it's trying to show students what arrays are and how those arrays are either multiplication or division. So what I've done is I've taken and I've got 4 hearts by 3 hearts, and we know that's 4 times 3 equals 12. Well, that is an array of multiplication. We see that it's grouped into 4 by 3, and so this equation would match an array multiplication. Now what if we have 12 and we put them in an array by 4 columns? That is an array division. 12 divided by 4 equals 3 rows. So that's an array division. This letter C is asking to put them into groups. And so if you take and put 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, you have 4 groups of 3. You'd be able to put 3 in each of those groups. Equal groups division with unknown group size. You have 12 people or 12 hearts with 4 in a group. How many would you have? Or you take, this is letter E, equal groups division with an unknown multiplier. 12 people with blank in a group equals 3 groups. It's actually using division. 12 divided by blank equals 3. So I know this won't make too much sense, but we're going to try to show you that you're actually doing it anyway. So let's look at this problem and then we'll look up at the top. We have Brian, and he has 0 crackers on his plate, and he divides them among his 5 friends. So Brian gives 1 to each of his friends, right? No, good. You guys saw that. It's actually 0. Undo that. He's got 0 crackers that he gave to him. So 5 times 0 equals 0. So 5 times 0 equals 0. None of his friends got a cracker. Well, let's look back up here and see what problem that fits with. 5 times 0 equals 0. That could have been an array. Or it could have been an equal group. So it could have been A or C, in my opinion. We set it up with a group, right? Or that could have been an array. So what you would put is A, and then you'd write the equation. 5 times 0 equals 0. And you can have a strong argument for any one of these. It's kind of like your own opinion. You might feel that it's more of a C. And I think that's what the book is trying to show us, is that there's different strategies to find these different problems. So if that helps you, we'll let you do a couple of problems that way right now. And this one you're going to have to pause. I'm going to make it big so you can see it. And Jan took photographs at the zoo. He took 5 photos in each of the 6 animal houses. How many photos did he take? Now look back up here. Can you put that in an array? Can you make 6 animal houses and then show that he took 5 photos in each of them? Or can it be an equal group of multiplication? This one has to be A or C. I'll let you know that much. Now you have to figure out the equation. This is problem another one. John buys 4 bags of apples. There are 6 apples in each bag. How many apples does John buy? This one has to be multiplication, and so you only have A, C, maybe E, but it is not a division, is it? Okay. And now a couple problems to review. This one might have 2 answers. I'll let you know that. This diagram shows a number of circles. Which number sentence shows a way to find the total number of circles? Next problem. Which number makes the second number sentence true? So we're looking right here. We're looking at this. And if you look, there's 5 times 8 equals 40 and 8 times something equals 40. Which one of these numbers makes the number sentence true? And I'd suggest you draw that out so you remember what 5 times 8 equals. And last 3 problems. 72 divided by 9, 2 times something equals 14, and 40 divided by 10 equals something. This will be all for today. And remember, even though you get done, you still should read. One of my favorite books was Bernstein Bears, and you might not like Bernstein Bears anymore because you've grown out of them, but go find a book that you should read, could read, and enjoy it. And that's all for today. Good night.